Been looking forward to this all week. Another day at the Edinburgh TV Festival today where EastEnders actor and Strictly star and winner Rose Ayling-Ellis will be giving the Alternative MacTaggart lecture about having a disability within the industry. Rose is with us now. She's with her signer, Donna, as well. Hello to you, Rose. It's so lovely to see you. Thank you for taking the time to join us. How has life changed for you since Strictly?
Yeah, it definitely has changed a lot. I'm definitely getting recognised more. But funny enough, I don't get recognised for what I look like. If when I talk really loudly, I don't recognise.
Certainly, Strictly changed the course of your career. How difficult was it for you as a deaf actress before you got the part in EastEnders?
Yeah, definitely. I always knew it was going to be a challenge, it's going to be difficult. I knew that whatever career that I would have, it will be difficult. So I actually, recently, I found my old diaries that I'd written when I was 16, and I wrote that I would love to be in TV, I would love to do BBC TV series, but because I'm deaf, it's going to be really hard. So I knew at 16, it's going to be hard.
Tell us about your experiences growing up as a deaf child. How did you learn to navigate the world around you?
Well, I think you don't really have a choice. You have to navigate the world that you live in. So I learned a lot as I grew up, a lot of challenge. I have a hearing family, so I learned a lot from them as well. Definitely giving me a lot of tools to communicate with hearing people.
What advice do you offer to young deaf people who feel that they're overwhelmed by the world?
What advice I would give it to them? I think really they have to find their own deaf identity, and whatever identity it is, no one can tell them what it should and shouldn't be. If they want to speak only, if they want to sign only, if they want to do both, it's up to that person. No one can tell them what to do.
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal giving the Alternative MacTaggart lecture. How do you feel about being asked, and what do you want to say as part of it?
So, it is extremely privilege to be asked to do this lecture. It is such a big honour because that's the voice that I can use to make people listen. I'm definitely quite nervous about it, of course, but I think it's not telling people off, it's more of being honest and telling my experience, and hopefully people can think about it and listen and think about what they can do to improve for deaf and disabled actors in front of a screen and behind the camera.
Yeah. Now, many of our viewers will know that you launched a deaf Barbie doll recently. Tell us about that.
I really enjoyed it. It's quite fun to dress up like a Barbie and have a hold of a Barbie, but it is such a big moment is to have a Barbie that looks like the people. The world, because that's how the world is. The world is full of people who are different. There's no same people. So it's nice to have a Barbie to represent that.
And we're just looking at that as we're chatting to you, Rose. If I asked you what was your most memorable moment on Strictly, I wonder if you might say this. Let's just have a look at this.
He's got a feeling complete, so if you want the truth.
The moment that you won everybody's hearts here in the UK and across the world, how do you remember it?
Yeah, really, I was just trying so hard to remember my steps and not mess it up. And I was trying to remember my routines. So much. So I think I knew it was going to be a big moment, but I didn't think it was spread out that much. Like, wow. It was definitely a special time.
wow. Yeah. That was then. What's next? What have you got planned for next?
What's next? We'll see.
Because I'm hearing on the grapevine that you might be Doctor Who's new assistant.
I have no idea where that got started. If a rumour just spread fast, oh, okay. That sounds like a really great job.
So there's no truth in that rumour as far as you're concerned, or are you just being a little bit coy with my viewers this morning?
No, there's no truth. There's no truth. It just, I think it was a rumour that started last week on Twitter, and I was like, oh, and then it just got bigger and bigger. Now it's everywhere. I'm like, oh.
Well, we hope that you are, and we think that you would be a sensational assistant to Doctor Who. We do appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me.